pain of life is here, and the pain of changing and doing something different is here, and none of us are going to. Why would I do that? That's counterintuitive.
And a leader, they have to know their intention and where they're leading their people.
The human brain is always in judgment, and so we're always judging ourselves, and it should look this way, and it should look that way, and we want to avoid, be dishonest, be deceitful, so that I can feel good for a moment.
It's always, always, always about what is our intention.
Spirituality and capitalism belong together. Those thoughts, those feelings, that comes from something bigger than I am. And together I believe we can all grow. That's how we're going to change the world. That's how we're going to change the planet.
So today I'm sitting here with Shawn Brady. He's my business partner and friend, and we've been working together for a very long time with a company called Mid-45. And the reason I wanted to start having Shawn on here on a monthly basis is because a lot of my knowledge, a lot of my lessons, a lot of my experiences in life to where I've been able to really come up with this concept of spiritual capitalism, I can't take credit for. A lot of these concepts and ideas came from either Shawn or we forged them together through our experiences. But really, we wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for Shawn walking the fire, as I call it, and really taking these principles that he lives all the way to his gut, to his core, and putting them into practice and teaching me many times, kicking and screaming, metaphorically, what this meant and what these lessons mean. So one of the things about Shawn is that over the years, he takes most of the employees when they start at the company and he'll bring them into his office and he really starts to have these deep conversations with them. And one of the things I want to talk about today, and I've talked about this on a couple times here on the show, and that is the concept of we first need to find out what our people want. We need to know what they want first and foremost before we can ever get them to engage with our vision. Mm-hmm. And do you mind kind of sharing a little bit about how those?
Sure, that is the process of enrollment. To back up a little bit. Sales is an evil thing because I'm going to talk somebody into something they don't want, and they're going to manipulate them into something they don't want so that I can give them something they don't want so I can receive a benefit from it. And so there's a lot of fixed beliefs around sales.
There's a lot of fixed beliefs behind sales.
But the funny thing about it is all things, always, all days, we are engaging in dialogue and relationships to get a benefit out of it. And part of the reason of spiritual capitalism and part of what you're describing is mutual benefit. And that starts with enrollment, to enroll others, to enroll someone else into a vision. I have a vision. I have a business I want to build. I want to build it to this level. I have this vision. But why would anybody want to be a part of that vision? And okay, I'm paying you a salary. I'm paying you a wage. And so you do it because you're trading your time for money. But I get the base of a human being. I get them doing a job, which works. That's capitalist to a degree, and it works, but there's no deep buy-in. Another way that often happens is people are very fear-based. They have a lizard brain, or whatever we want to call it, and that runs us subconsciously. And so in a work corporate environment, if you have people that are always worried about their back, worried about their job, well, about their well-being, well, about making sure they can feed their family, and they come from that fear, again, you're not getting the highest level of and the uniqueness of who works for you, who works with us, who co-creates with us. So that begins with the very simplest level, enrolling others. A higher level of selling. It's not manipulating. It's not conning. It's not talking someone into something they don't want for a fake benefit. It's nothing like that. But in order to enroll someone, you need to know what their vision is. And a lot of times they don't know their vision. They haven't sat and contemplated it and taken time to decide, what is my vision in life? What matters to me? On a base level, they might, but what about in the work environment? What do I want out of this? And so starting with a new employee and having a conversation with them and really paying attention to listening to a heart level, they'll tell you, even though they don't know, this is my vision. This is what matters. It's more than money to me. Yes, I need the money to feed my family and to operate and take care of life. Yeah, but there's more to it, and I want to go far deeper into it than just an exchange of time for money. So when you speak to someone and you listen from the spiritual side of spiritual capitalism, listen to their heart, speak with your heart, they'll tell you your vision. So that's the first step. Listening for their vision, asking them questions, letting them feel comfortable and safe. Very important. That safety is very important. Where they feel, for whatever reason, I feel really secure around you. I feel really safe around you. This is the weirdest interview I've ever had in my entire life. This is unusual, whatever, to having them breathe, and you can literally see the change of the tension to breathing, and then we start having conversations about whatever, till they start revealing and they start becoming aware of their own vision. That's the first step. Then as sharing, this is my vision. This is what I see. This is what I'm creating. This is what I would like to have happen. And then the enrollment part comes, the third step. And that is painting a picture spiritually and relationship-wise. You know what would be really interesting? If you stand in your vision, I stand in my vision, and we work together in harmony, creating a vision, we both will be magnified. Far greater than if you try to do it on your own or if I try to do it on. 1 + 1 at this level is an infinity. Unfortunately, most relationships, a lot of working relationship, 1 + 1 isn't 2, it's less than 1. But when you're working from the level of visions, choosing together to work, and I'll bring my gifts and you bring your gifts, and we bring this on this different dimension or level or vibration, whatever that word might be, now I can see that me pursuing together your vision, I will be greatly magnified in what I receive, and you will be greatly magnified and receive, and we're making a ripple effect of change. We're making a ripple effect of increase.
Absolutely. And the reason I wanted you to talk about that a little bit, I know that came out of nowhere for sure, but the reason I wanted you to talk about that is because when we first decided to be business partners, that was exactly what happened to me. So you enrolled me into the vision, which was also my vision, and together we were able to co-create, Mint 45. But that happened a long time ago.
Sure.
Like that was a long, long time ago. And you were the one that held the vision for what that was going to be, and you still do continue to hold that vision constantly. And I think it's part of like being kind of a vision holder, right? Being visionary is holding that. It's not just about having an idea. It's about really holding the vision of what that is.
And just to make a little bit more comment about that, the hard part about a vision is there's no crystal ball that says we just do this and this and this and this and it unfolds and it all works this way. Usually it's nothing to do with that. Usually the way it comes about is you don't even know where it's coming from, and it's pivot here and change here and tweak this here. You pay attention in vision of what the intention is. Most people in business or in a capitalist society focus on how, action. They're always focused on action, 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 action. That the mind is how dominated. And so it's an incredibly odd or bizarre concept to focus on be, an intention. And so it's very important as a visionary and enrolling other people in the vision is to get very clearly defined on what the point is, the purpose is. What's the point? It could be just to make a lot of money. Okay. But for most people, that's great, but hollow, empty. All human beings want more depth to their purpose in life other than just money, And so you have to pay very, very close attention to the intention, which is a feeling-based word. It's not a goal. It's not an expectation. It's nothing like that. It's something different. An intention, clearly seen, is a way of being. Why would I want to make $10 million this year? Why would I want to do that? And if I interview someone who says to me, I want to make $1 million this year, or I want to be a part of your organization to make money, and wonderful. Nothing right or wrong about it. It's very important to stay out of judgment of what is right and what is wrong and what is good and is bad. That's a good way to get lost very quickly, because we're talking about something more about the spiritual side, the ethereal side of spiritual capitalism. What is the intention behind it? And again, a lot of people don't know their own visions, and because this is a very weird way of speaking. It's uncommon. So you've got to find those words for them, and you've got to find those words for you, and then you've got to align them. So it could be something as simple as, what's the purpose of spiritual capitalism? What is the vision behind building MIT 45? Why are we doing that? For me, and I believe as for you as well, because we had a similar goal, we want to be wildly successful in it financially. At the same time, do it with heart, do it with a soul, do it with purpose, do it to create change in the business world. Make the business world be something different than what we assume it is or what it might be or how it's continuing to be. Let's make an effective change, raising the vibration and growing, expanding this strange concept of making money.
Yeah. What I have seen in intention over the years, everything is with intention, right? Do you remember the year where we decided nothing falls through the cracks? That was our intention, right? That was our clear intention.
That's an intention I sent out, because that's not a feeling-based word, but that's something that people can understand.
Right.
It's more about creating clarity and creating form and function. It was deeper than that, but that's the message that everybody can understand.
Right.
And so use that one, keep it simple, because who wants to have head-blowing conversations 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and being confused? It can easily happen. So let's just keep it clear.
So as a
nothing falls through the cracks in 2019.
Yeah. So, but as a leader, you had the feeling behind what that meant.
I had an intention, a clear intention.
The intention of where that is, but at the same time, you wanted to make sure, because you're running the company as a CEO at that time, to make sure that the organization and the company, they know what that actually means,
Yes.
right? So what's interesting is every time I talk to people about intention, right, and I'm big on this one, and you know this over the years, and I work on this constantly. It is not about the how. It's never about the how. And I always go back to the how.
Of course.
I mean,
it's almost an addiction.
It's
so odd or peculiar or rare to have the conversation about starting with an intention. And so it's almost not seen anywhere. So it is such an unfamiliar concept, and we're so used to seeing what we see. We're so used to doing what we do. We only know what we know. To do something new, first you're not even aware of it. And why would I do that? So it's a journey that takes some practice, no question.
So, okay, so I'm sure there's a lot of people right now that are listening to this, and they've heard the word intention before, right? It's used in all kinds of.
Goal.
It's a goal. You hear it in spiritual books, all that stuff. So let's say, for instance, someone's sitting at home right now, and they say, "Hey, I want to do this, or I want to experience that." Well, we know that's not what we're talking about here. But what to you is an intention, and how can somebody actually utilize what an intention is and put it into their life? What's the steps in that?
So it's always really simple. Spiritualism is incredibly simple. Yet if you just say, often it's like, where intellectually we get it, but we don't experience it, so we don't know what it is. So an intention is just a feeling-based word. I want to create love in this that I'm doing. I want to create joy. I want to create an expansion of joy. I want to create an expansion of freedom. I want to create an expansion of abundance, not just financially, but an abundant life. I want to expand peace. Or you can choose whatever you want. I want to create an expansion of chaos. I want to create an expansion of frustration. I want to create an expansion of conflict. No one in the right mind would do that, of course, but there is no wrong or right. It's about being aware and paying attention to what you're giving energy to. And the being is the most important start. Yet we all skip it. We go straight to how. There's a concept that I learned a long time ago that I've embellished and strengthened and made my own, but I didn't come up with it. And that is, human beings have given an equation in their life that we all follow, not even in questioning why. It's just automatic within us. And that is do, take action, have, get a result, and be, get a feeling for what we're doing, why we're doing it. That's what we all follow. We follow it day in and day out unconsciously. We're not even aware what we're doing when it just is flawed. And the worst part about it is it never works. But very few people have taken the time to step back and question it and then wonder what would work. What would work? This is very simple, but it doesn't really make sense until there's a little bit more explanation to it. No. You start with the being, the intention, being.
So the being is the intention. So when people are listening to this, the being's intention.
Another way to say it, yes, is being, a way of being. So when I hold an intention, a feeling, that's different than an emotion and it's different than a thought. Thoughts and emotions are two sides of a quarter. They're the opposite of the same thing. This is something different. In the limits of language, the limits of English language, the word feeling doesn't come close to describing what I'm attempting to describe. It's not that word, it's something like it. A feeling is something I hold in the true portion of what I create with. You don't create with this, you create with this. A sure way to find out for yourself if, okay, I have relationships I love. Someone asked themselves, I have relationships, I have children or parents or significant others, people that I love. Okay, take your hand and go, okay, I feel love. I'm feeling that love for this relationship right now. And put your hand on your body where you feel it. You go here.
Yeah, always directly to your
You
heart.
don't go, I think I love my children. I think I love these people. We don't touch our head. We touch our heart. This is the connection, the connection to the universe. And it begins with the powerful part of us, and that is it's not the physical heart, it's the energy of the heart. This is what is our true nature is, our true power is. This is what co-creates with the universe. So you begin, if I'm going to be co-creating in the universe, with the heart connection, the being part of something. You start there, where we have been taught something different. So you start with being, I'm going to create love. You take action, hold in the space of love. As you take action, that feeling expands. And then you get, the weirdest thing, you get an expansion of your intention. You get more of love. That doesn't make sense, but it might make sense. The only way I really can explain it is when I was a child, I'm 3 years old. I love my mom and dad at 3 years old. The must I now have, it's just, but I love at 100%. Then I have a sister, and my love expands, and I have another sister, and expands, and then I become older and get in relationship with a woman, I marry her, and then I have 5 children, and I'm always loving 100%. Not perfectly, life isn't perfect, but I am loving with all I know how to be. And then and then now I have 5 children, and then I have 10 grandchildren, and many, many other relationships in my life. From 3 to 60, my love has expanded.
Because the universe is always expanding.
Always in a state of an expansion.
Always, yeah.
And so it's just following a state of expansion, but it's more with awareness and consciousness.
So going a little bit into the doing a little bit here. So when someone's at home, they're listening to you, they're like going, okay,
What the heavens is
this
going
being,
on?
like we're dissecting this, right? We're trying to get much more concrete about this a little bit for people. So if they're sitting at home and they're saying, okay, this is what I'm looking to attract into my life. This is my intention of what I'm looking to attract into my life. And I bring this into the space of feeling into my heart. And in that, are we creating images, sound, visuals? Like, and experience
Yes.
so we can create more.
Whatever tools work for you, because it's yes to the above. And it's a practice. There is no arrival. It's a constant practice. The best place to practice is not with some business strategy or a relationship. It's easier to practice on the simplest, most mundane things of life because there's a purpose to every single thing. The will, I won't go into that one. That one blows your brains and blows mine.
Give me an example of what a practice would be that's something that's simple.
What's the purpose of washing dishes? What's the point?
Clean your dishes.
That's the how action.
I know this
What's the
answer, so
purpose?
I'm going to keep playing this game. But I mean, so if I'm washing my dishes, it's to make sure that I have clean dishes. It's to make sure I put them up and dry them. It's to make sure that there's no garbage on them.
Excellent. And there's nothing wrong or right. Stay out of that. Well, not sure you're doing that, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
But what's the deeper purpose of it than cleaning dishes? This is mundane. This is something that needs done every single day. Why would I do that? Most of us would do it unconsciously. We'd go numb.
Most people do it unconsciously.
It just does something to be done.
And they check the list that
but
goes
they
on their
might
head.
go unconsciously. I don't know. There's someone at home, and there's 5 roommates living together.
Can't believe I'm doing
a
this.
family of 12.
All the inner thoughts.
Whatever it is. And it's like, I'm the only one who washes dishes. I can't believe anyone else would do dishes. How come I'm the... That is an energy, taking the action of washing the dishes that expands.
I felt
You're
that too.
frustrated
Ugh.
like crazy that I'm the only one who does dishes. Why are these dishes piled? And then by the time you're done, you're enraged. You're going to go dump your garbage on something because I am the only one that does. Not discounting it, not making fun of it, not patronizing it.
But it's still true, though.
It's very truthful.
Yeah.
Yes, that's one way of setting an intention unconsciously. Or, and it's a choice. Wait a second, I'm going to set an intention before I wash dishes. Well, this is silly. Why would I do that? Because it's really powerful. You know, when I wash the dishes for my family, I'm actually doing a service of love. Service is the highest form of love. And this is a way to serve. Something I've got to do over and over again, or somebody's going to do over and again. And so I'm going to practice creating an intention. And so I'm going to practice feeling love, feeling gratitude for having dishes, for having a home, for having a sink, for having warm water, for having food to put on those dishes, for having loved ones around me to feed. And I'm going to practice love today doing dishes. And I'm going to sit there as almost a form of prayer or meditation or mantra or whatever. I'm going to do my very best, not think love, 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 love. No, I know I'm going to put the choice, because it's a choice, of love in my heart and vibrate love and wash dishes.
You know, I love that. And as you were saying that, I was visualizing something. You and I talk about food all the time. We love food.
Yeah.
And I'll always say to you, like, food is love. Like, food
Yes.
is love. And all of a sudden, I just saw this. I saw you in the kitchen, by the way. For those that don't know, Shawn, he is an incredible chef. I'd rather eat at his house at any restaurant in Salt Lake City or pretty much anywhere at this moment in time. And your food, you can taste the love.
Yes.
Like when someone's cooking with love, you can taste it. That's why when you go out to eat food, it's
grandma's
like,
food is
oh my
the
gosh,
best.
because there's so much heart put into it.
Yeah.
So much intention of
Why is
of feeding
grandma's
my
bread so
family and
different than
bringing
my
people
bread?
together.
Why is grandma's Italian grandma's pasta made just the same way as everybody else makes pasta? But why is hers so? It's years of experience, of course, but there's an intention behind it.
Yeah.
She is vibrating the love of her family and the joy of her great grandma and her grandma and her mother teaching her. And so there's generations and generations of this love and handing over. And so you can just feel it almost makes me emotional. Now I'm making pasta.
Yeah.
And you can taste it. And it makes it better and you don't know why. There's an intention behind it.
You can taste the intention. I mean, it's like Thanksgiving when you eat that food. Sometimes it's like, okay, maybe it's dry turkey, and it's like might not be like this amazing chef's meal. However, when there's all that gratitude going around the table, when there's all that like, I can't believe we got together, we're here another year, and there's the tears and there's all those things, there's something so sweet and so wonderful about that meal. whoever hands prepares it.
certainly
There's so
can
much
be.
love in it.
And it certainly can be. And then there's also lots of chaos and fighting and arguing, and I don't want to be around my family.
That can be the exact
And it's
opposite.
all sort of destruction.
Yeah.
And all those things are real. And they all get to be valued. So what do you do to start to begin to create a difference in maybe my Thanksgiving meals, maybe plenty of people out there? The last thing I want to do is go to my house and have a conversation, because it's going to be a conversation around something like a religion or politics, and half the room wants this and the other half of the room is that, and it's just chaotic, and all we do is fight and argue, and I can't wait to get out of here. Okay, those things are real, and they don't get to be placated and pretended like they're not.
Of course not.
That doesn't, setting an intention isn't to live in pretend land and ignore. In other words, to be a victim to it.
Well, life is still lifing all the time.
All the time.
It doesn't matter. But my intentions, though, at least in my experience, when I lead with love, especially going into something difficult, when I lead with what is it that I am committed to creating here, what is it I'm bringing to the situation, like what is it that I'm holding in my heart, it definitely can lessen some of the things that come at me sometimes, because no matter what, like it said, life is going to life. So going back to being. So what you're saying then, Shawn, is that when we're doing the mundane tasks, whether it's, vacuuming or whether it's doing the dishes or whatever, it's what is my intention that I'm holding into that space of feeling and staying in that space,
Yes.
right?
Because when you hold an intention and you take action, it expands. Or you can fall back to loop tapes, fall back to unconsciousness and go numb and just do it to be you. It's to recognize in this moment, I have a choice. And what is my choice? Maybe you just don't feel like setting an intention. Maybe you want to do dishes and be angry, but make a conscious, accountable choice.
I love that, because one of the things I can tell you about Shawn, our company, is it's always, always, always about what is our intention. Where are we going and where are we leading people? And a leader, they have to know their intention and where they're leading their people. Because if they're blind, then so is everybody else around them.
They'll follow how they're led. And so there's a high level of stewardship, a high level of accountability to those who lead the business.
But it is, again, with that intention.
Yep.
So going back, so if you're looking to either get more out of your company, or if you're going to be starting a company, or you're going to be, a family, or whatever it really is, it's first and foremost starting with that intention. Yep. So we went from the being side of things, right? Yes. So how we be. Mm-hmm. If you don't mind, just continue.
How we be, and so I don't know specifically what you're asking me, then it leads to taking action. And the action is relevant. So someone might think, okay, I'm just going to set an intention, the law of attraction, I'm just going to sit there and meditate on millions of dollars coming to me, and I'm going to sit in my bedroom and not move, and then one day millions of dollars come to me. It's ridiculous. We all know it's ridiculous. There are plenty of people who believe that. And then they get questioned on it, and they're confused themselves. Because action matters, but the action is not nearly as relevant as the intention. You have to be holding, you don't have to be, you choose to hold an intention of what you want to increase. And most people don't hold an intention, they don't pay attention, and so they're increasing something that they don't even want in their life. Human beings spend most of their life focusing their life force, their energy, who they are as co-creators, on things they don't even want. And it's all around us, so it's easy to do. Never stopping and going, wait a second, is this what I want?
Yeah, you ask somebody what do they want, they tell you what they don't want.
A long list of what they don't want.
Easy. That's easy to get out somebody. You ask them what they do want,
they don't answer the question.
That's a smaller list by far.
Nobody asks that, and then you don't respond that way. We tell everybody what we don't want. To really stop it for a moment, take a powerful pause in life and say, wait, none of this is working. I don't really like the results of this in so many aspects. Yes, parts of my life are working, but there's so much that isn't, and I'm sick of it. What actually might work? And say, well, because this is experiential, it sounds great in theory, but until you experience it, you don't experience it. And if you don't experience it, you're not really able to utilize it. It only comes from experience. That's why I say start with something simple. Find out what happens. Practice doing the laundry for 3 weeks with an intention that you choose and holding it the best you can. Keep yourself from going unconscious and going back to the mundane task of it just needs to be done, or even the unconscious task of nobody else does laundry around here, and how those are not wrong, but practice setting your own intention to do laundry for 3 weeks and hold that space of whatever it is. I am creating gratitude. I am creating love. I am creating internal value. I am creating whatever it might be. Make it a conscious choice and actually practice it. Practice it for 3 weeks. Experience it instead of theorizing it. And then watch what happens when you take that action. And notice the difference. After you finish doing laundry and hanging up the clothes and they're all put away, now it's complete. Is there a difference? At first it might be, no, this is silly. This is kind of stupid. I don't get it. It sounds like just an extra task and it's hard. And who wants to do that? Kind of like a metaphoric man is 800 pounds. And he finally says, enough. I am fully committed to getting my body in shape. And so he walks into the gym. And he doesn't walk over to 100-pound dumbbells and starts doing curls. No, he probably walks over to the 1-pound dumbbells, the pink ones, and starts curling 1 pound. And people make fun of him and people laugh at him. Maybe some people encourage him. It doesn't matter what everyone else is saying. He's committed to himself. I'm going to get in shape. And so because of that commitment, he practices it and practices it and practices it and practices it. And as time goes by, as we all know, if he truly is committed and practices that, all of a sudden he is curling 100 pounds. It's the same kind of concept. At first, when you practice it, because it's so foreign, it's hard. It's so easy to fall back into being unconscious. Okay, I'm going to set an intention to do laundry, and I'm going to hold a space of gratitude. You go down to your washer, you get the clothes together, you grab the soap, you've gone unconscious. You didn't even know it. And you're back to this is just the, oh, shoot. No, I thought it's a hilariously fun, interesting experiment to set an intention and practice it.
It can be, in my experience, extremely easy for me to be unconscious like that.
Yeah, that's our true nature.
To be in a place of actual creation, because really holding intention
there's a way of describing our mind, or our natural way of being is to be completely unconscious. Our divine self is always creating and is well aware of it. So to step into an unexercised muscle, for most of us, you go unconscious so fast.
Yeah, it's really quite easy. It's no different than when you're like, you're going to go on a diet or whatever, and you've got, I don't know, cake in the fridge, and you open up the fridge, and it's like, oh, going to eat that. And you're like, nope. That's almost easier to do that because it's visually in front of us and we can see it and that than it is to practice something of this gratitude or staying in that space, because for however many years, for me, it's 43 years in life, I've done things. I mean, not really because I've been practicing things for such a long time, but being that mindfulness of this, but it's so easy because it's not something that's common. And then slowly it starts to become, oh, okay, what's our intention? What's our intention? What's our intention? I think the day that you leave this earth on your tombstone, it might say, what's your intention? Because it's something you've said so many times to us and over to me for many years. When I think about the be, the do, the have, right? Or the basically do, have, be. When I used to think about that a lot, when we would talk about this, I would always think about the be as who I would be or what I would be internally, or how I would feel if all of a sudden I was successful, or all of a sudden how I'd feel if I had this thing or these people or whatever, and recognizing that was such an asinine way of looking at it, but that's what I was taught. It was more important to be like, okay, when I have these things, or when I'm experiencing these things,
unbelievably common, yes.
How will I feel? Yeah. Like, what will I experience internally?
When I arrive somewhere.
And why the hell am I waiting for that point anyways?
When I arrive somewhere, then in my life, then I'm going to be happy.
But that's not the case, because there literally is no arrival.
That is do, have, be. Be happy.
To be happy,
So
right?
a silly story I made up that I just say is, I'm 18 years old. I grew up in a lower middle class home. True or untrue is not relevant. And I meet this kid who's my friend, and he lives up on the hill. And one day I go to his house, and his dad's a dentist, and he has 3 Mercedes-Benz in the garage, and he has this big house and a beautiful wife and 3 kids. And I go, that man's happy. I don't know him, don't know anything about him, but my concept of happiness is this house and hill and all that stuff. And so I go, I want to be happy. So what do I need to do? Well, I need to study harder in school. So I study hard in school. And then I need to go to college, and I study hard in college, and I graduate. And I need to get in dental school. So I study real hard to get in dental school. And then I get accepted in dental school. And I go to dental school, and along the way I meet a woman, and I marry her, and I finish getting through dental school, and I borrow all kinds of money to get through dental school. And then I open up a practice. I borrow a bunch more money. I hire people. I market my business. I market my practice. I'm a dentist, and now I'm 45, 48 years old. I have 2.3 children, a house on the hill, 3 Mercedes in the garage. Everything I should absolutely want in life. I've arrived. From the moment I was 15 to the moment I'm 50 or whatever, 32 or whatever it is. I've arrived. Now I should be happy. And I look around, and I can't tell anyone. I can't tell my closest friends. I certainly can't tell my wife. I can't tell my children. I can't tell my people who work for me. I can't tell my customers. Who do I talk to? I'm bloody miserable. Not in all ways and all forms, but I'm unfulfilled and I'm empty, and I don't know why. And now I'm broken because there's something wrong with me. I have a house on the hill, which meant something to me. I have 3 cars. I have 3 Benzes. I have the wife. I have the kids. I have all of these things. I have them. I have the results. And I'm completely empty inside and unfulfilled. And maybe even for some men or women out there, suicidal. And so I feel guilty as fuck, because how dare I be unhappy when I have it all? That's the formula that's broken.
Yes, that's the illusion. And if we flip that quarter just a little bit, because I love doing that with you all the time, we can take the same story of saying that, I have all these things. I look down at these people that have no responsibilities. They don't have to worry about anything. They have a very simple life. They walk all the time, you know what I mean? And they have a smile on their face, so therefore they must be happy too.
Yep.
And neither one of these people typically, or sometimes, may or may not be happy.
And it's really not at all anything to do with the big house, just a metaphor.
Right.
It's not about being a dentist. It's not about being married. It's not about having 3 kids. It's not about a Benz. It's not about any of that. It's about the journey of life with purpose, choosing that purpose, and whatever journey I want. My aspirations at 15 is to be married, have 2 kids, have a simple life, a simple job, and choose simplicity. Small house, used cars, wealth means nothing to me. That's not right or wrong. It's not about wealth or not wealth. It's not about any of that. I choose simplicity. So that's better, right? Or that's worse, right? No, all that's judgment. Judgment kills creation. It's just that's what I aspire to be. That's what I choose to be. That done with do, have, be will lead to the same misery.
That's what I'm saying. It's the exact same thing because, again, there's something internally in people when they think they have or don't have or whatever it is,
The nature of mind, it's always when I arrive, then I'll be. If then I'll be happy. And we're always pursuing the next thing that's going to make me happy. Pursuing graduating from high school, pursuing graduating from college, pursuing a job, pursuing marriage, pursuing a relationship, pursuing having children. Do. Always in the action, doing, constantly pursuing, getting results. Bad, good, didn't work. And expecting a feeling. Expecting what I really wanted in the first place. And it doesn't work. It's all arbitrary. It doesn't make sense, and it's confusing. Some of it's good, but most of it's not. And I just, let's just do that again.
Yeah.
With the next whatever it is.
Well, that's what happens. And if you look at even marketing, right? Marketing does this brilliantly. They look at what somebody doesn't have, or what they desire, or what feeling they're trying to have, and they say, if you have this, if look at people the way they'll look at you, if you have this, look how healthy you are.
Yep.
If you do this,
Look at my image.
instead,
If I drink a Bud Light, I'll be happy or whatever.
right? Because if people were like, oh, wait a minute, like this is why it isn't. This is not taught to people. Because I think a lot of times, if it was taught to people,
Well, that's the,
you would lose all power.
you know, what you're creating here, two forms of what you're creating here, there's a dark side to both of them, and there's a brilliant bright side of both of them. And if they're separate, it just doesn't make any sense. The point is to unify the beauties of, some people would just think I was insane, the beauties of capitalism, and combine the beauties of spiritualism, combine them in harmony to co-create. It's the way out of the binary mind, the way out of the loop tapes, the way out of the insanity is we live in the world of or. This brain of ours, this mind of ours, not necessarily the tool of the brain, but this mind of ours is this or that. It's two-dimensional. This or that, this or that, this or that. The beauty of what spiritualism brings is another dimension beyond the second dimension, that there's something else out there, whatever that might be, that is generally a combination.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely, there's a massive combination back or into that. So going back into this concept of what you're really about and what you've been about for a long time, which is the intention or the being, right? So first we be. And so what we're talking about here is first you be how you want to feel. First you have gratitude.
What is it you want to expand in your life?
And just continue to expand
Whatever that might
correct?
be. Simple concepts. The universe is always constantly expanding. We as creators are always expanding. What is it I choose to expand? Instead of unconsciously, in life being life, and it brings all sorts of results to it, but as I navigate my existence of life, what do I want to increase?
I love it.
And choose it.
And then from that point, then we take the action.
Yeah, and that expands it. It expands whatever we're holding, unconsciously or consciously. The reason there's a lot of suffering, and suffering as part of this planet, is we're not paying attention, or we're not being accountable. It's always something else external. It's the next thing I get, or it's the next president, or it's the next something external. It's everyone out there. They're all doing this to me, or it's not me, it's that. And so there's very little accountability and responsibility of my choices in life. What I'm choosing, it's an insanely interesting thing to project everything, to give away my personal power. No one would consciously say, I'm going to give away all my personal power. I'm going to hand it off to others. No one would consciously do that, but there's a payoff for that. Because then I'm not to blame. I'm not accountable. I'm not responsible. It's always something else. And then there comes a stage in life for almost all people, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of feeling powerless. I'm tired of feeling lost. I'm tired of the suffering. I'm tired of the confusion. I'm tired of all these things. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know for sure what I'm going to do, but I just don't want to do this anymore. Usually, pain is a great teacher. And unfortunately, our pain of life is here, and the pain of changing and doing something different is here, and none of us are going to make a difference. We're just not. Why would I do that? That's counterintuitive. But in all of us, because life is life, pain gets up here, and the pain of doing something different, something new, something even foreign. All I know is I'm not living this way anymore. And so that's when people will, it's not necessary, but pain is a great teacher.
Yeah, pain for me has been an incredible teacher. I mean, an incredible teacher. Now, I'll choose to learn through pleasure any day.
Of course.
But it has been a great teacher, though, and so I'm grateful for those things. And going back into it again about intention and about the being. So once we be, then we do or take action. At that point in time, then we have. And there's another side to this, though, and it sounds so romantic and so easy. And I want to bring it back to what I was talking about at the very beginning, and that was our intention that we had, I think, in 2019, which was...
Yeah, that's vital. Let's do that, but let's step back just for a second. So be, take action, expands. Then I get a result. And there's something very, very important as I'm practicing to co-create with the universe, to be incredibly honest with the result without judgment. Did it align? I set an intention to do love, be in love. I sat there and took the action of washing the clothes. When I got done, I was really frustrated. And it was madder than when I started. Okay, that's a result. Okay, be really honest with yourself without judging yourself. Well, I set the intention to create love washing the laundry, and 3 seconds into it, I went to sleep and I started thinking about how I'm the only one that does it. And I spun and spun and spun, and then I finished going, I should be feeling love now. I didn't hold intention at all. Don't beat yourself up, be honest. I didn't hold it at all. I didn't practice this. I went to sleep most of the time. Oh, well, tomorrow or the next thing I said, and practice truly holding it. Because you're getting results, and that's information. And most people want to sugarcoat it, change it, fix it, make it good. I want to feel good. I want to be happy. I don't want to be honest about my results. Or importantly, I don't want to take accountability for my results. I want to blame you.
Of course, that's easy.
I held love. I held joy. I held light. And Dalton came in here and shit all over it, and it's his fault.
I have been guilty in that in my life many times. I'll be like, I'm this way. Why can't everybody else be this way? Not realizing it. I appreciate you stopping me there and saying, hey, like, there's a little bit more to this. Like diving a little bit deeper. Like, okay, what does our results speak
what you're
for?
paying attention to. Honesty is really important. Be honest with ourselves. The issue is the human brain is always in judgment. And so we're always judging ourselves, and it should look this way, and it should look that way, and we want to avoid, be dishonest, be deceitful, so that I can feel good for a moment, so I can have the results that I can deceive myself even in the littlest ways, and that just blocks you from learning. It's easier to do that, but it's best to go, I set an intention to do laundry. I'm holding space of love. I'm feeling love right now. I'm feeling gratitude the best I can. This is kind of stupid, but I'm feeling it. And when I get done, I was madder than fuck. Okay, great. Don't change it. It's not wrong to be angrier than fuck. But what's happened? Oh, where's my accountability? Where's my responsibility? All accountability means, the world thinks accountability means to blame. Responsibility is who's to blame. Accountability only means one thing. I'm accountable for the choices I made in something that occurred. I made choices. Other people make choices. I have no power in what everybody else makes. I have no power at all in what everybody else chooses. One of the hardest points of living life is people make choices I don't like all over the place. But trying to make choices for others is impossible. Yet we do this here, trying to control everyone else around us to make different choices so people can walk, talk, eat, drink, sleep, and breathe like me. And if everybody walked, talked, ate, drank, slept, and breathed like me, then this world would be a better place. My life would be better. It's insane. So just take accountability. What choices did I make when I was washing laundry? I made the choice to set an intention. I started doing laundry. And 3 minutes into it, I got lost to that constant chatter. And then I got really upset that something occurred to me. It did occur to you. And it made me really angry. And then I was done doing laundry, and I stopped paying attention to my intention. And when I was done, I was pissed. Okay, that's great news. It's not wrong. It's wonderful news. Now you're paying attention. Okay, the next time I practice setting intention, I'm going to remain aware and keep practicing. I'm creating love doing dishes. This is stupid. Love, love, love. Boy, do I, yeah. But that's the 800-pound man currently but you practice it for 3 weeks. 6 weeks really changes things. You do this for 6 weeks, you really make it a powerful effect that makes a difference. You practice for 6 weeks. That's a lot of work, but to experience it, I guarantee you, practicing it after 6 weeks, there'll be a difference. And you can measure on your own. I might be completely full of shit. You might be completely full of shit. Highly possible. How would you know? Find out. Experience it. Practice it for 6 weeks and see for you, not for anyone else, see for you if there's a difference inside of you. Where maybe laundry's still just stupid and mundane, but maybe all of a sudden laundry is an experience of prayer. Laundry is an experience of love. Laundry is an experience of gratitude. And I'm feeling gratitude in other things because I'm doing laundry.
Yeah, it'd be something at that point in time you might even be looking forward to doing it. It might be a time where now you get a break, and I'm just saying, if you're experiencing those things.
The thing that you've brought up that we're going to get to is very important to be what the experience is of something.
Yeah.
So we should probably cover what you're wanting to cover now.
Yeah, so the reason I wanted to go this, because this sounds like, if you're listening, you're like, oh, well, then this is, I put this energy out there, and because I'm vibrating this energy, it's all going to be beautiful, and everything's going to be so amazing.
Rainbows, butterflies, unicorns,
and there is no duality in the universe. Like, there's no duality. It's all going to be perfect and fine. And in my experience, I'm so happy I've learned these lessons, because when they happen, I just laugh. Just like you're doing. I just laugh and I go, all right, we're on the right path. It doesn't feel like in the moment while being on the right path. So I bring this up because in 2019, we put this declaration out to the universe, and our intention, when I say declaration, was nothing falls through the cracks. So imagine you walk through our office, we had created these images of
we put banners all over the warehouse.
$100 bill that was sitting in a crack, and it was this really cool picture that says nothing falls through the cracks, and it was everywhere. And what this was, where we could see all the different places, but where basically things were falling through the cracks. And the moment that we made this declaration, the universe in such a loving way.
Yeah, most people wouldn't see it that way, and I agree with them at times.
It took me a while to even use those words.
Deeply loving way. Continue.
Yes, exactly. In a very deep loving way. And in that moment in time, I was like, you motherfucker. Like, this is not what we talked about.
Did you get pissed at me?
No, not at you. No.
Just the universe. What I
no,
just know,
but I'm
just
saying,
clear.
I'm just saying the fact that we put this out there, and I would see all the time, constantly, what was falling through the cracks. And what's interesting, even up till, even now in our board meetings, I sometimes go, oh, that's falling through the cracks. Like, I can hear it as if it's something because it's so part of me, and even in my own personal life. But what ends up happening is the minute we make this declaration, all of a sudden, everything that could fall through the cracks.
No, it's everything that was. We just become hyper
We're
aware of it.
Yeah, we have brought an awareness to it, no different than when you buy a new car and you see it everywhere.
Big, huge, gigantic spotlight and put it on cracks, metaphorically.
Yep.
And boom, what does the loving universe do? The loving universe says, I absolutely positively want you to achieve your intention. I am conspiring for you. Here's all the ways that are in your way. And so it was being fed with a fire hose in January of 2019 for both of us, especially. I can't compare, but for me, motherfuck.
It was everywhere.
It was endless, all day, every day, all these things that are falling through the cracks. And okay, trying to remember, not getting overwhelmed, keeping my intention, but just feel like I'm getting my ass handed to me.
But the beauty in that, though, is when things were happening,
but it's holding the intention during this chaos.
At that moment, in that chaos, in that storm, there's these signs everywhere that says nothing falls through the cracks. So it's like on one side, you're seeing it, on the other side, you're asking for it. And the reason we were asking for it is because we were looking to take our business to a new level.
Yep.
In order for us to be able to rise, there were many things.
We could no longer continue to be the way we were to
Absolutely
go to the next level. And so we had to shift us, not everyone else. We had to shift us to a whole new way of being. First you build it, then it comes. First you build it, then it comes. And everybody wants it to come, and then they'll change them. No, first you shift, first you make it, first you hold it, first you set it, and then as you get fed with this fire hose of all the things that are not unity, all the things that are not flowing, all the things that are not. The universe shows you all the ways it's not because you made an intention, a declaration to the universe. Nothing falls through the cracks. So the loving universe says, okay, great. I completely agree with you. I'm going to conspire for you. Here's the 100,000, 8,452, whatever the number might be, ways things are falling between the cracks. And it's a flood.
Yeah, it's a fire hose. And in those moments, I think a lot of people think, oh, this is where it's like love and light and peace when you're in the storm. And that's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Bullshit.
But that's part of spirituality. Like, this thing of spirituality is supposed to be like this, like, all love and rainbows and all that. But, even even bringing psychedelics in, so just for a tiny second, like when you're going through some of these hard things that are physical with like ayahuasca and different things like that, you're feeling it all. And it's like, why the fuck am I feeling this? This is not how this is supposed to be. I thought I'm supposed to be evolving. I thought this was supposed to be beautiful, but not that everything has to be suffering and painful. Things can be pleasurable, but it's in such a loving way that we're experiencing that.
What you're describing that we all do is it's the judgments. We're constantly, this is a judging machine. And so we're always judging this is when it's not supposed to be. I was set an intention. I'm supposed to be all about love and light. So I held my intention for 4 minutes. And now the rest of my life is going to be wonderful because I'm all, that's insane. It's no more insane, and this is very controversial, than saying a positive mindset, thinking positively, will change my life and make things different for me. It's very controversial, but that's insane. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
It doesn't. And what I've seen too, because I've been a big believer in, mindset, and it's not positive mindset. It is mindset though. But a friend of mine recently sent me like a little video on Instagram, and it showed personal development. And under personal development, it showed that I'm waking up and I'm writing in my journal, and I'm working out, and I'm eating right, and I'm doing all these things. And life is so beautiful. And it said the dark side. The dark side now is when I don't do those things. I beat myself up about it. When I don't do these things, I become this type of person. And so now this thing that we thought was building us up, all of a sudden is tearing it down because, as you said, there's the judgment or the duality now. And I know I'm guilty for this. Like when I'm in.
Everyone is.
I'm like, I'm in. And I'm like, Shawn, this is how it is. And you're like, fuck you, Dalton. Like, there's so many other ways to get there. And I'm guilty of that. And I laugh at it because I see myself in that. So when we're looking at intention, if you're looking at your company and if you're looking at your life and you're looking for something to expand, and when I say you, I'm talking about the viewers.
Follow your question. So let's get back to Nothing Falls Through the Cracks in 2019. We've described it.
Yep.
We get fed with a fire hose. And in that moment, it's taking a pause. We always want to react. And reaction is destruction. It's just falling back to the patterns of what everyone else is doing, what I've always done. It always gets me results I don't want. It's reaction from the past, reacting. And in the moment, okay, I'm going to take a pause. I don't like everything falling through the cracks. I'm overwhelmed with this, but okay. I'm going to focus in. I'm going to focus in on my intention. What is that? Okay, I'm going to hold this intention. And I can't handle all of this. This is too much. I'm going to choose one aspect. I'm going to take this one part of the chaos, and I'm going to focus my energy on it. I'm going to get it so it's flowing, so it's not flowing the cracks. We're going to put the procedures and processes in place, train people, whatever, shift things so that it flows. Okay, now is this flowing? Is it working? Okay, now it's working. It's just about paying attention to it and assuming that doesn't go squeampus again because it's a new thing. And people want to fall back to the way they always did it before. No, we've shifted this one thing. We shifted it so that it flows. It's the silly metaphor of eating an elephant. You take a bite and you take that one part and then you do it again and again. Take the pause, hold my intention. What's the point? What am I co-creating here? What am I vibrating? Jesus, there's nothing but chaos. Let's take this aspect. Let's focus on it. Let's give my full attention to it instead of giving my attention to the chaos and all over. And let's put it in place so that it flows. And again, and again. And that year, the first 3 months, I just like, what stupid motherfucking idiot would set an intention that nothing falls through the cracks in 2019? I'm the dumbest motherfucker walking on this fucking planet. This is insanely difficult and stupid. But as we ate a bite of the elephant, put it into focus, put it into function, slowly, back to the dumbbells. Instead of a 1 pound, and now I'm at 5, and now I'm at 10. The chaos lessens, the insanity lessens, the flow starts to work, and then those who work with it start to trust this. They start to go, wow, this is working. Nobody wants something new. Nothing wants change. It's very uncomfortable. We want to just keep doing it the way we've always done it. But the comfort zone, as you and well I know well now, is the prison. So we're going to shift. Then it grew and grew and grew. And by the end of 2019, of course, we still had things fall through cracks, but it was far more powerful. And our business, because we built it, doubled.
Yeah, it was far, far, far less. And what I liked about that, and as I was listening to you talk, when a group of people come together and they focus on the same intention, and there's awareness to it, and there's safety in that intention, and people know what we're doing, you're able to move mountains. I mean, we moved mountains at that period of time, and I think I know it's such a beautiful experience to have, to look back on. Maybe not to be in it, but to look back on and be like, okay, when you come together with one intention as a community, as a group, the power in that. Yep. Because everybody's hearts and minds and souls are focused on that one thing.
And it might not even be a unified intention. It's back to enrollment. Someone's intention might be peace, and other intentions might be joy, but we can align them, and you'll get more peace than you ever thought, and joy, and I'll get more joy than I ever thought, and peace. It's always magnified. It's infinite.
I think when I say intentions, the intention is nothing falls through the cracks. I know it's not exactly a feeling word, as we talked about, but it was our focus, and that group focus allowed us to see what was not working, and then allowed us to fix those things one thing at a time and to shift them. Thank you. To be able to shift those one thing at a time until eventually, as you said, we had doubled our company. We had shifted our company.
The craziest thing in the world, and you can't point to it. This is the thing about what you said is, I don't remember the word you used, but the word I would have shifted to is miracles. Living this concept, whatever the heaven is we're talking about, creates miracles. And what a word to use. A miracle is some biblical story about the Red Sea parting. Are you kidding me? That's what, because again, we're not paying attention as human beings. All a miracle really means is something has occurred that I can't explain. I have no explanation to it. You and I have been talking for 30, 40 minutes. How many miracles have occurred right now? I won't go through it, but trillions. If you think of the vastness of the entire universe, how many stars have been created, how many planets have been created, how many stars died, how many babies have been born, how many people have crossed over, how many miracles in this entire vast universe that I have no concept of have occurred, things that occurred that I don't really have an explanation for. I have some sort of concept what it is, but I really don't know what it's like for life to be born. I have some scientific background. I'm certainly not a scientist. I don't know what it is like for a star to die or to be born. I don't really know the magnification of all of that. It just occurred. I know it occurred, but I don't know if I could explain it because it's something I can't really prove or explain, but it exists. So maybe setting the declaration of 2019, nothing through the cracks, had something to do with our building, our business doubling. Maybe it had nothing to do. I can't explain it, and I can't prove it. All I know is our business doubled, and I also know that we set the intention, and I also know we focused on those things, and I also know, because we've learned this together multiple times, first you build it, then the universe fills it. Most people want the universe to fill it, and then they'll adapt to it. That doesn't work. It never works. So we set an intention. We focused on it. The loving universe showed us all the ways it was throwing through cracks. We handled the chaos. We converted the chaos to what is the word I want?
I mean, it was
harmony. Say,
yeah. I mean, harmony or
something like that.
Yeah.
To order is the word I wanted.
That's fair.
And in doing that, our sales doubled.
Yeah. The power of intention cannot be like understated, overstated. Like it's the magnitude of what it has been in our organization on so many different levels. It would take probably a lifetime to be able to discuss because it's taken a lifetime to even get here, it feels like.
Yeah.
So that people have something tangible and actionable. Because one of the things is a lot of times, here at the Spiritual Capitalists, they'll listen to interviews and those things. But one of the things I really want so the listeners and the viewers are able to take something from us and apply it to their life. What can they do today, like right now, not later on, not 10 years down the road? What can they do today so that when they listen a month from now, when you come back and we go into more insights on things, that they can apply today that will truly change their life in this exact concept we're talking about?
Notice something in your life that isn't working for you. The results aren't working, whatever it might be. It might be your relationship with money and not having money. It might not be that. It might be whatever relationship out there that just isn't working. And you want to make it different. And you would like to have better results than that. Recognize you only have power in your own choice. You cannot control what another person does. There's no power in that. So set a committed intention to whatever it is you want to be different in this relationship and hold it. And then recognize when you set an intention, you're taking action, you're going to get all the loving universe to show you what's not working. And you can't change the other person doing something, or you can't change what other things are. You just recognize that this is loving, and you focus on what shows up and shift it to your intention. You shift this into the intention's love. You put love into what's not working. You put your love, and you just focus on that one thing at a time and keep doing that. And it will slowly, this is the experience part. This is experiential. This is not theoretical. You experience it, and then something will occur. You'll have a result. And then you be honest with yourself, whatever that result is. Is this worth it? Is this something I want to continue to do? Is this really making something different that I can't prove or explain, but for me, there's a difference here. And it's valuable to me. And because it's valuable to me, I want to continue to do it in other areas of my life. I decide through this experience, I want to start being a part of this practice and start living my life this way because it's fulfilling. It is wonderful and worth my energy, especially over being unconscious and getting the same thing over and over and over again, wondering what the fuck is going on with life. Is this possibly, perhaps, maybe, something worth my energy, something worth practicing so that my life begins to be fulfilled instead of what the fuck is going on? And the metaphoric dentist I made up, I have it all. I have it all. Miserable, almost suicidal. And I feel guilty and broken and I can't tell anyone, so I'm completely alone. That's pretty melodramatic, but that's where that path goes.
And we've seen the amounts of suicide in men. We've seen where people do the game of the, once I have this, then I'll be this. Like we see that game, and it's
that
insanity.
leads to addiction as well. Something that's very passionate to
absolutely.
you. I can't take this pain and suffering anymore, so I need to take something to alter it. Actually, addiction is, I want to shut out all this pain. I want to shut it so I numb out to life. I want to avoid all of this suffering, and we shut ourselves so down that people get addicted to alcohol or drugs or something, sex or whatever, because the body must feel. It can't avoid. And so it brings an experience back.
Yeah, we live in an experiential planet.
And we're experiential beings.
Constantly, all the time.
We don't learn from theory. We don't learn from knowledge. We learn from experience. We learn through experience in our relationships. We're in relationship with everything and everyone, and we learn experientially through the experience of it. And that is all aspects of this planet, of this dimension of life is what we say here on Earth is. It's all experiential and it's all relationship. Everything is about relationships. You want to master life, master relationships. Master relationship with yourself, master relationship with others, master relationship with money. And by learning the process of mastering your relationships, all of a sudden life is very different, and it's not different at all. It really isn't. And that's a dichotomy that's hard to explain.
Well, and even mastery, right? Always
it sounds like a rival.
Always constantly a student. There's no rival.
Always a student.
Yeah, there's no way. So, Shawn, I appreciate you coming out, man. I appreciate you sharing your wisdom with the viewers and the listeners. I appreciate you talking about things that I know very well in my own heart. And I was like, man, I've got to have Shawn on once a month because there's so much wisdom that you have gained through the years on your experience. There's so much study and so much experience in this experiential planet that you've had that I just want people to be able to hear worldwide and just be like, man, I had never thought about it that way. Like, what would happen if instead of doing it this way, I do things differently. It's always being in the question. That's where growth comes. But what would happen if I just be first?
Yeah.
Just that simple thing.
And there's stages of life, and I'm at the stage of mentorship. But far more than the stage of mentorship is a commitment that you align with me and many people that you're listening to you, and as you gain millions and millions of viewers and listeners, which is going to occur, most, if not all of them, are going to want to make a true difference on this planet. They've had enough.
Yeah.
But what matters to you and matters to me deeply is making an effective difference. Most of my life is a path of pain, thinking this or doing that, reading this concept, doing that, and most of it didn't work. I remember being in so much suffering and pain. And the silly metaphor I make is I talked to a spiritual teacher. I'd read some concept in a book, and it didn't say this, but put this finger in this ear, put this finger in your nose, put a red tinfoil hat on your head, step on one foot, and hop in a circle to the counterclockwise, and that'll make your life different. And fine, I don't care anymore because I just want my life. I'm tired of this. And then doing exactly that, and someone saying, no, this finger doesn't go in your nose, this finger goes in your ear. That you're not doing it quite right. If you just do it right, if you just do it perfectly, your life will be different. Well, that never worked.
No.
And I got sick of it. I got so sick of it that something had to be different, which put me on my quest on what is really going to make a true difference? What is going to effectively change this planet? I don't so grandiose that my life's journey is to change the whole world, but where areas of my life, what things that I have power over, where I have choice over, I can make a shift and being difference. And one area is in business.
Yeah.
Nothing meant more to me and you. I want to make capitalism business be wildly successful, yet do it from heart and soul and actually walk my talk, not placate myself, not a punchline, not some mission statement I write because I'm supposed to write a mission that's there because I was supposed to do it. No, walk it, eat it, drink it, sleep it, be it, actually be what I say I'm going to be, and do it accountably and responsibly, failing most of the time, but do it again and again and again and again and again and again. It really matters to me that we make this insane asylum we live on a harmonious place, a loving place, a joyous place, a peaceful place, recognizing we are all one, recognizing that all gets to eat, recognizing that prejudice and judgment and racism and hatred and the insanity of wars gets to cease. And so that's grandiose, and I have no idea how to make a difference in something like that. But I can be one who makes a stand. And in some way, maybe it's noticed, maybe it's not. That's not relevant to me. I can be honest with myself. I'm changing. I'm shifting something to the higher vibration. I'm being a part of making a difference that actually works on this planet. And I know you fully align with it. That's what this means.
That's exactly.
And everything
what
else that we
what you said. I mean, this is why you're here. Like this is why you're here, because this is as much as it is my mission. I know it's as much as your mission, and because when you align with that, when you find more people out there like us, we find more people that are either on that path, going to that path, or they're like, you know what, I've got a great business, I'm doing well, but I really want to shift and change to something different because I like what these guys are saying. Like, wow. And it's not just what's fascinating about when we stand in alignment that way, it's almost as if everything conspires to work with us because we continue to move forward step by step. Yes, it gets difficult. Yes, we fell.
It's just the awareness that the universe is always conspiring for us because most of us think it's conspiring against us.
Always.
That's why life seems. The universe and people around me and life itself is conspiring against me. And I get it. Changing my perspective of nothing falls through the cracks in 2019 and then every single frickin' thing that did, and I'm so overwhelmed and frustrated. It takes a lot of awareness to go, the universe is loving me. It's asking me to shift me. No, I wanted the universe to just fix it. I wanted someone else to do it. No, I'm accountable. I'm responsible. I'm the co-creator. I'm the one who's making these choices. I can't make anyone else's choices anywhere. I can make mine.
Absolutely.
And I can be a part of that change.
Well, you walk your talk,
as
man.
interesting as business.
You walk your talk. So again, I appreciate you coming out. Next month, we're going to do this again.
Cool.
And the following month, we're going to do it again.
Okay.
And we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep doing it. And we're going to continue to bring listeners in and viewers in that they're going to see this message. And it's going to, I know those people that will take and put these things into practice, I know it will change their life. I've seen it. I know it. And I know it.
I was in search of absolutes. I was tired of the thing I was telling you, put your finger in your nose and no, that's not right. I was fucking done in things that didn't work. I wanted something that absolutely worked. And in my life experience, I know it absolutely works. I'm absolutely certain it's effective and it makes a tremendous difference in changes. The only caveat to me is most of the time I'm unconscious. Most of the time I lose my intention. Most of the time I go back to my loop tapes. Most of the time I'm not walking my talk. It's a path of constant failure. But don't judge myself for it. Get back up, recommit, hold my intention. Take action with my intentions. Be honest with my results. It's not in alignment. Go back to my intention. I absolutely am certain in my life experience, it works 100% of the time. It's always effective. The one thing that might be very important that we didn't point out to is an intention is not a goal. And so it's not a confined way it looks. The universe doesn't work that way. It never looks the way I thought it was going to look. We can talk about that another time.
Yeah, we'll dive back into that. So the thing about Shawn I love is that it doesn't matter. We could literally talk for hours on this subject, and we will, and you're going to get a lot more of that in the next couple of months. So again, Shawn, I thank you for coming out and blessing us with your wisdom and insight.
My pleasure, my honor. Thank you.
Thanks, brother.